Hey YouTubers, many of you that own land or even in your residential backyard may have some posts, unwanted posts that are left over from a previous owner, or heck, it might have been a project that you did, right? And now the post has done its job, it's in the way, and you want to get it out. Well, there's different ways. There's digging it out, which isn't labor intensive and leaves a huge hole in your yard. There's renting heavy machinery that may not be in everybody's financial means, or you might not be able to get an excavator into your backyard, right? Well, there's another way. A cheap jack from Harbor Freight, it's called a farm jack, a block of wood, a trucker chain or whatever chain that you have around the property, and you can pull your post straight out like this, and that's the only hole left in the dirt. And you just fill it in and you're good to go. And I'm going to show you how we did it. So you're going to want to have a sturdy block of wood. I'd recommend something a little bit wider than 2x4 for the base of your farm jack. And when you place it down, remember that there's a piece of concrete attached to each post. They're usually between 4 to 6 inches in width. So that's how far you want to stay away from this, or you're going to become counterproductive as you try to lift this post out of the ground. What I do with my trucker chain, which is quite long, is I give it about 1.5 feet, and then I just put my foot down and I start wrapping it around the post, as so. Obviously a shorter chain would be easier to use, but this is what we had, and we didn't want to go running to the store and purchasing new products. Use what you got, wrap it around, and tie it into itself. I just do kind of a loose hook, and then as I crank, it will tighten, and you will see that. Wrap your farm chain around the tongue. Make sure it's locked in good, and think about the direction that the chain's going to be pulling for the locking in. And I like to line my tongue up with the center of the post. That way I'm centered and I'm not getting pulled to one side. And once you're in, you start cranking it as so. All right, now that I put a little tension on it, what's going to happen when you start cranking is your chain's going to move a little. Don't be alarmed by that. It's just tightening in on itself. See, it's just tightening. I'm not feeling any true tension yet. Once you feel the tension, you'll know. There we go. Ground's starting to move already. Keeping my foot on the corner of the jack for stability. There we go. Starting to come up. The hardest part is done. Breaking the seal. Once you break the seal, it's easy from there. All right, YouTube, that took us less than 2 minutes, including prep time of putting the chain on, of pulling this out of the ground with minimal damage to the surrounding area and one little teeny hole to fill in that's already nice and circular. It doesn't get much easier than that, guys. All right, YouTube, moment of truth. Proof's in the pudding, right? Here you go. Check out that little bit of mess to clean up. That's it. Fun fact, half of it's going to be right here to fill the back hole in. So I just pulled all the dirt off and we'll stuff it back in the hole here. Look at that. A couple weeks, this grass, you won't even be able to tell that there was ever a hole here at all.
Couple more.
There you go. Great job. Guys and gals, I just saved you thousands of dollars, hours of intensive labor. All you have to do is hit that like and subscribe.